subscribe? Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Man on stage, I just wanted to congratulate you on this room. It's been very informative today.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So, well, are you from the UK, Daniel?
No, well, born in the UK, lived in California for 10 years, but now I'm currently based in Dubai, tax-free.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. How's everything out there in Dubai?
It's good. Weather's calm. It's a little humid at the moment, but the fact that I got myself in the Middle East tax-free for over 3 years, I think I'm winning with the cost of living going up in the Western Hemisphere, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So what's on your mind tonight, brother?
Well, I just wanted to understand. I kept going on stages, and people referred to me as a tether. Now, I just wanted to understand where this term derived from in the FBA community, because it sounds like a derogatory way of addressing a fellow black man on social audio. So, would you say you condone that kind of talk or not?
Well, yeah, tether is an action. So if you do something that is disrespectful or detrimental, or if you undermine a foundational Black American, you will be labeled a tether. So it's an action-based thing. So you're not a tether just because you're non-FBA. So it's an action-based thing. It's almost like a foreign Sambo. Like if we got people within our own lineage who will do something weird or do something to undermine us, we call them a Sambo or different other terms. And we have a term for foreigners who try to undermine us. So that's what that is. Now, why they call you a tether?
They feel every time, because I'm from African descent, I'm Eritrean to be exact, and sometimes I get involved in the diaspora discussions that they have, and they start getting a bit under their skin and referring to people as tethers, even greeting me as a tether. And I didn't quite understand that because, when I came to the United States, I was embraced by the Black community that was already there, and I consider them my own. So I don't understand how you delineate yourselves as foundational Black Americans when we both have the same struggle and the same common enemy and the same goals in life. So I get with certain cultures, especially Africans.
Slow down, slow down. What does that have to do with our lineage? We have a unique lineage. So yeah, that doesn't change you from being Eritrean, and that doesn't change us from being foundational Black Americans. Why is our acknowledgement of our unique lineage a problem?
Because I get accused of cultural appropriation quite a lot from the stuff that the music I listen to, the clothes that I wear, and I always dig deep and ask myself the question: how can you claim to accuse me of taking a culture when I'm speaking in a language that was formulated by a white man, English, right?
Okay.
And then the music that you have is a form of English with musical beats on it. So I don't get how when I listen to hip hop, I'm giving such a hard time about the fact that
Giving you a hard time. Who's giving you a hard time?
well, I got members of the FBA community that say, you try and be like us, you try and walk and talk like us, and I find it very hard to accept that because what you have to understand is rap culture or the black culture that you have within your society is only popular due to the dominance of the white man's English language. That's why the United Kingdom colonized so many parts of the world, and you have music that everyone can relate to that understands English. So if I was to
Then
rap in my language in Eritrean, y'all wouldn't understand it, nor would it be accepted by the West. So I adapt to the culture, but to call me a culture vulture, I think that's a step too far.
well, you're saying that our culture of rap music is only successful because we use the white man's English?
That's correct.
Well, would it be safe to say that you only got acknowledgement or recognition as an Eritrean because Britain colonized you?
That's not true. Britain did not colonize us. We were part of, well, in World War II, we were colonized by the Italians, and the British defeated the Italians and administered our country for a few years, and then handed us over to Ethiopia where we had a war of independence. So some difference there
Yeah,
where
that's,
if you're going to claim the British colonized us, then the Germans colonized the French
sir,
when they occupied it, right?
that's colonizing. That's colonizing, sir. That's just
No, occupation. So is the would you say the Germans during World War II?
let's slow down. Let's slow down. Yeah, Italy colonized, and then they pass you over. They pass you and flip you over to Britain for a minute. They basically ran a train on you. You know what I'm saying? They ran a train, and Italy got some ass, and then it was Britain's turn, and then Britain got tired, and Britain said, "Okay, we'll hook you up with Ethiopia." You know, so yeah, they kind of ran a train on you, a cultural train. So we can say it wasn't occupied or it wasn't colonized, but yeah, it was. Hold on, let me get my brother. Let me get my brother McCall, if you don't mind, Daniel, because he's near your homeland. He's an FBA, but he's near your homeland. Brother McCall, let me wait on his phone to click in like it's supposed to. There it is. Brother McCall, hop on in, sir. I'm so good, brother. How are you?
Excellent. Just living the dream and winning and enjoying this engagement with Mr. Daniel. Do you mind if I?
Daniel?
Yes, sir. You just cut out. What did he say?
Go ahead, McCall. Uh-oh.
Brother Daniel, how are
Until
you?
Miguel comes,
Miss,
I'm good, my brother. I just wanted to correct Tariq when he said the British colonized Eritrea. Again, that's not true because, as I said, they were administrating our region. The
we know,
Italians did
we know,
colonize us.
we know, we know, we know, we know. Question.
Go ahead.
You have a president, I say, right? In Eritrea. Is that correct?
Correct.
What are your thoughts and feelings about this gentleman?
Uh, Me personally, I feel the problem we have as Black people is we do not have strong leaders. Every time we have a strong leader, something terribly happens to them. The Eritrean leader,
Okay.
FBAs,
I actually, I, yeah, I asked you, what do you feel about him? He's Eritrean.
yeah, I'm getting to my point, if you don't mind the interruption. So my point was,
Yeah, I just don't have a lot of time on space. I just want you to get right to it.
yeah, I think I am. My point was we need strong leaders. The president of Eritrea is a very strong leader, um, an actual icon in Black culture to show the world that you can do what you need to do for your peoples. So I
Okay,
am very
got it.
much pro
So okay,
Eritrean.
right. Okay, so as an Eritrean, he's a very strong leader. As an African leader, he's a very strong leader, and he's helped free your country from the ruling of the Ethiopians, and he's dealt with the Somalis, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So why aren't you there minding your Eritrean business
Um,
and building your country?
the reason why I'm not there is the reason why I'm currently where I am, which is in Dubai. I'm more of a tax-free haven specialist, so I don't like to pay taxes, and that's why I'm here. But why am I not there is a good question. I will be
Uh-huh,
there in my own sweet time. So when people try and dictate that question as to why, if it's so great, you're not over there, it's not always the case that it works out
uh-huh.
for you. Because I got businesses here, which
Right,
is
but
where I'm based.
you have your own, country. You have your own country, right? It's independent, right? Mr. Isaias, he fought to guarantee you independence. He helped build your infrastructure. So you're more valuable in your own country than you are in building Dubai, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't say I'm building Dubai because, as I said, I'm not paying to the system here. It's all going into my pocket, and I am looking at enterprises in
Okay.
East Africa. But let me ask you a question, Mikhail, because this is one thing I don't understand about the FBA is when you talk about America, I get it. During slavery, you built the country, but what do you actually own? If America had just FBA or
Okay,
Black
sure,
Foundational Americans
sure,
running it,
sure,
how do you think
sure,
it will compare
sure,
to
sure,
Africa?
sure, sure. We will outperform Africa. If our best 1,000 foundationals came to Africa, we will run Africa. In fact, we will build a state exponentially that will outperform any government in Africa, as well as China, India, and the country you ran to, sir. But you should go home. That's what you should do. Go home, mind your Eritrean business. You have an excellent president. We respect him. Go home. Thank you, Brother Tariq, for the
Thank
opportunity
you,
to speak.
sir. All right. There we go. So, Mr. Daniel, um, you were saying that people call you tether, and you wonder why we, as foundational Black Americans, are basically recognizing our lineage. So, what I'm trying to see what's the problem with us recognizing our lineage?
I mean, sorry to go off topic, Tariq. I really do find this point that I always make in American spaces when you say you should go back home. This is our country, and I always ask this same question on every stage: what do Black Americans own in America to compare against other countries that they talk down on in Africa? Yeah, we don't have as good as a banking system as y'all, but which part of Black America owns the banking system in America for it to be theirs to compare them against?
I mean, you really want to compare? We own way more than y'all do in Africa. We're not saying that to be mean spirited, but hell, just the few of us, not the few, but many of us who own homes and vehicles. Y'all don't even have that. I mean,
Now you're being ignorant now, Tariq. You can't say that. You have you been to Africa?
many,
Any part of
yes,
it?
I have.
And you saying you saw no vehicles and
No,
houses
no,
there?
no. A lot of y'all don't own vehicles. A lot of,
I,
you don't own,
that's true, and a lot of people do own vehicles there too.
but yeah, a lot of you don't own homes. People are living in shanty towns. I mean, we're going to be very honest. So we don't live like that. And I'm not saying that to denigrate, but if you want to try to make a comparison talking about what we don't own, well, I mean, we own more than you guys own there because a lot of the Asians and East Indians go over there and start owning a lot of the industries and the businesses there. You see? And
But what you have to remember, in Africa, you have a black leader that answers to black politicians. You've never had that in your history, and never will have that. You will always have a white man to answer to in life. So for you to sit there and talk about our country and all this and all that, the country is not really yours. You don't make up much of the population in terms of percentage. How many black
sir,
Americans are there
sir,
in the population of the
that's
United
the
States?
thing, sir. Do you really run things in your own country? Because the resources, the whites and the Asians pretty much control your resources. And they got to go over there and drop off food to you. So you're talking about the decisions you make, but you're not really running things like you're supposed to over there. That's why you had to leave. That's why you had to leave and go find success elsewhere, right?
I mean, Tariq, I don't think you've done your research, but if you read up about my country in Eritrea, our leader has been sanctioned because he does not bend his knee to the West. He is the one of very few outspoken African leaders and considered one of the axis against the United
The
States
rider.
for such a small country. But we don't accept aid. We don't do what the white man tells us. We tell them how we do things, and that's why our country is the way it is.
Right. And so what you have to do instead of you getting on code with some of the own code people there, there's a lot of different tribal differences, and y'all will not get on code. And then you have to leave. This is why foundational Black Americans are relatively more successful, even though we're under the same or even more harshly level of oppression. Because we, as foundational Black Americans, we know how to get on code with each other and get some things done. That's why we have the most global influence out of all Black people in the world, right?
I mean, well, it takes me back to what you excel in, right? As Black Americans, you excel in the entertainment space, i.e., you got great Black actors like Denzel Washington, to name a few, Morgan Freeman, who who do their castings and they acted in front of a white director. You got great sports people, but the owners are white. You got great rappers and artists, but the labels that they're signed to are white. So what do you excel in outside of that that you can tell me that's fully owned by Black people and they don't answer to nobody but themselves? If you give me just one example.
Hell, me, Tariq Nasheed.
And what do you do, sir?
I'm successful as an activist. I do all types of empowering educational pieces. I've had successful Black history documentaries. Wasn't about shucking and jiving. I've had a series of successful history films with a bunch of educators speaking about history. Became the hottest, biggest selling Black history documentary series ever. So, yes, a lot of us are doing great things outside of just sports and entertainment. You have in foundational Black American culture, we had people like A.G. Gaston. He's a gentleman in the city that I grew up in, Birmingham, Alabama. He was one of the richest Black men in the country at the time. He's a businessman. We got just so many things. We had scholars who were very well known, the John Henry Clarks, the Dr. Francis Cress Welsings, the Claude Andersons, people like that were very influential outside of the entertainment music scope. And even the activists like the Dr. Kings and the Malcolm X's and people like that. Who's your version of that, sir? With respect, who's your version of that?
Of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, we don't have activism like that because we're not oppressed by white people so directly like y'all are in the United
Oh,
States.
so like you just act like Italy wasn't putting that ass. Really? You act like Italy just wasn't tearing that ass up.
No, we had yeah. The difference is y'all had peaceful demonstrations and activism in a peaceful way. We fight for what's right. That's why most of us, well, all of us, gain our independence from colonization from the Europeans.
Hold
You know, by fighting
on.
for it
Peaceful?
with lives.
Slow down. Say we've had peaceful.
So you keep cutting out,
Can you
Tariq.
hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said we only had peaceful demonstrations.
I mean, did you have an insurrection?
Yeah, many of them.
Could you name me two?
Dude, the Seminole War, the Maroon Wars, during the Civil Rights Movement, there were behind the scenes lighting cities up, sniping, hijacking planes, blowing up police stations, shanking prison guards during the Civil Rights Movement, sir. It wasn't all peaceful. That was the front for the media. You had two sectors of the Civil Rights Movement. You had the professional upstanding front, which was Dr. King, Rosa Parks, and everybody marching and singing. That was the front end. On the back end, you have the revolutionaries, the Black Panthers, the Black Liberation Army, other groups putting in guerrilla warfare work out here. And these Black folks was running white people out of whole towns in America. Go look up Cairo, Illinois. The Black people ran all the white people up out of there. We were doing stuff like that on the back end that's not talked about in the main. It was everything but peaceful. It wasn't that peaceful, sir. We put in work. You understand?
And how many civilians? So my view is, in any conventional guerrilla warfare, you will have rebel groups that use hit and run tactics against a conventional army. And in response, that army will try and root them out through bombing civilian neighborhoods because they believe the guerrilla or the resistance army is based there, and oppressing the population in a way where so many innocent people are picked up off the street and killed as an example to try and deter them from carrying on this conflict. Was Black America experiencing that?
No, because we're too spread out. Can't do it like that because we're not cornered off in little immigrant enclaves. Country.
You keep breaking up.
Can you hear me, brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Sorry about that. But yeah, they didn't do that to us because one, we're not cornered off in little immigrant enclaves. Foundational Black Americans are all over the United States. So there's just not one area where they can just target us. We're too spread out. And the thing is, even though we're spread out, we still know how to get on code with each other. And in the 1960s, there were insurrections all over the country, especially right after Dr. King was assassinated. When he was assassinated, there was something called Hell Week in the United States. There were turn-ups all over the country. The country was about to burn down. That's why they passed the 1968 Civil Rights Act. Wasn't because of peaceful protests. Foundational Black Americans were burning the damn country down. And they had to say, okay, equal rights for everybody. So everything wasn't as peaceful as they put out on television, just for historic reference.
Would you say that they reached their objective in terms of equal rights? Those leaders.
At the time, we still need to get things tweaked, but at the time, they did what they needed to do. They removed a lot of the oppressive systems where we couldn't go into certain neighborhoods. That was knocked out of the water. We were able to get better jobs. So we did do it. All right.
Your signal's real bad. You keep like dropping out. Is it just me?
Family, can y'all hear me? The brother keeps saying he can't hear me. Family, if
I
y'all
hear you, but it starts distorting, and then you stop talking, and then you pick up, and then I missed the sentence.
okay.
I heard some of what you said, but not all what you said.
Okay. Um, okay, they said they can, I think they said they can hear me. Let me hold on, let me get Arian in here, my brother Arian G. Let me just double check if I can be heard. Arian, what's up, brother? Arian.
What's up, Tariq?
What's up, brother? Can you hear me? Am I being heard pretty good, Arian?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, what do you think about
Well, I think he's full of shit, honestly, because first of all, he said Black Americans don't have any banks, or we don't own the banking system. First of all, no Black person owns any banking system. That's for the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Also, we have over 20 banks in the U.S. I can name off a few: Carver State Bank, Citizens Trust Bank, Liberty Bank, One United Bank, GN Bank, City First Bank, Industrial Bank. I can go on and on and on forever.
Are they in every state? One of
Oh,
those names you just ran?
no, let me finish. Also, we have over 2 million millionaires. We're only 13% of the population, and we have 2 million millionaires. Where's your Eritrean bank? Where are your millionaires? I'll land.
it? Thank you, Arian. Go ahead, Daniel.
Now, your question was, where is our Eritrean bank? The Eritrean bank is in Eritrea. That's why it's called the Eritrean banking system, sir. And to compare 2 million millionaires that you claim to have as foundational Black Americans is a bit of a tall ask. I think that's being convoluted with the number of Africans who have moved to America and been very successful. They make up a large number of that 2 million you're referring to, sir.
All
So
right,
I don't think it's a fair comparison because again, you are talking about America, an industrialized country, versus African millionaires. There are many. If you had the continent collectively, there would be more on the continent of Africa than there would be in the United States. That's for sure.
then where are they on the continent of Africa?
They're spread out. You got people who own refined oil refining complexes like the one in Nigeria. You got people that own mines in South Africa. You got government officials who have mines, businesses, infrastructure.
All right, name an Eritrean millionaire. Man, they got quiet.
An Eritrean millionaire, sir. There's
Name
plenty. How many you want me to name?
one.
There's Tedros Tawaldi. He's an Eritrean millionaire. He owns the electricity that runs into the capital city itself.
What's his name?
He,
I'm
Johannes Ibrahim.
gonna look him up. Johannes Abraham?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna look at him up. And he owns what?
he owns a power plant in Eritrea.
Okay, let me look him up real quick. Johannes Abraham. Um, see no damn Johannes Abraham. Oh, I don't see nothing about no damn Johannes Abraham.
Hold on, make sure I got his name right.
You just make up a name, ain't nothing on no Johannes Abraham. There's a come on now. Yeah, that don't even sound right. Yeah, brother, don't nothing come up on. Um, yeah, there's nothing. The only Johannes Abraham is an American government official. Yeah, and he was born to immigrant parents, but I don't say nothing about him being a millionaire. Yeah, Daniel. So yeah, your God don't exist. Yeah, Johannes Abraham don't exist. You just made up somebody, brother. I guess you thought we weren't gonna fact check. Right. So yeah, this kind of proves our point, brother Daniel. And I don't have you muted, Daniel. You muted yourself. Okay. So Daniel's got quiet. He muted himself. So Daniel, let me go ahead and get some other callers since you tapped out and you on mute.
Hey, Tariq.
Okay, yeah, how you doing? Let me get Daniel out of here. Come back, Daniel, when you get some more Googling going on. He tapped out. He realized that he just made up a name and we called him. There's no Johannes Abraham. Ewet, go ahead. Ewet, how to
Hey,
pronounce
Unet.
Uwet?
Unet. I'm Ethiopian by birth. Been here
Oh,
about 30 years.
oh, cool. So you've been in the US for 30 years?
Yeah, a little over 30 years.
What so where you at? DC.
Actually, I live in Atlanta, married to an FBA wife. I have two young boys.
Oh, cool. Your wife.
Um, uh,
Wife from Georgia or Alabama? Where's she from?
from Americus, Georgia. Like I think so like east or west. I think of Macon, Georgia.
How'd you pull an FBA sister?
I don't know, man. I got lucky.
Okay. Do you have is your hairline kind of like ours or what?
Mine, yeah, I think so. I'm gonna have to. I just opened up this account, so I'll be able to talk to you. But I'll come back and I'll post some pictures and stuff, so you'll be able to see me.
There you go. So what's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. One, the whole black people do not exist in the United States. I mean, I've been reading about that stuff for years. That Graham Hancock guy just spoke to Joe Rogan about how they updated their tests and they did confirm. And I'll send all those links to you tomorrow. But he did say, yeah, there were all the DNA test results came back to be all African people. So all the bones they were digging up are, in North and South America are all of black people, not Mongolian people or anything like that. And this is a white archaeology guy that posted that stuff.
Oh yeah, send me the links on that. Definitely.
Yeah, and of course there was Glenn Beck that a lot of people consider a lot of his. I think his last show on Fox was because he posted and he did a whole show about not only African American contribution to the United States, but everything they did when they were allowed to do things just post slavery during Reconstruction, about how all the accomplishments they made. All of a sudden, he got taken off Fox. I'll send you the links to that as well. So a lot of people need to watch that. And as far as the gentleman from Eritrea, I mean, it's kind of disappointing how people question why the delineation. I totally agree. Um, African Americans have the right to delineate, just like Eritreans decided, hey, we don't want to be part of Ethiopia anymore, even though if you were put me and him next to each other, you can't tell us apart.
Hmm?
My mother speaks his language, even though she's Ethiopian. It's just sad that hundreds of thousands of people died between, of wars between two countries of people that look exactly alike, speak the same language, eat the same food, practically the same exact people. But then he'll question African Americans, wanted their own lineage, which is kind of crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Right. My man, I
Um,
And
Literally, they burn.
send me those links, though. Definitely send me those links. Yeah, man. It's like we've been saying. Hell, we told people back in the Hidden Colors films that hell they did DNA on some of those bones, and they found out that they had sub-Saharan African DNA in those Indian bones, and then they got quiet about it. So yeah, I want to see those links because when white people tell niggas, yeah, they really believe it. But 'cause we told you over a decade ago, but let's let the white people confirm it. What's up,
It's
Panama?
Panamera because my name is Portia, so it's Panamera. But
What's
yeah, my real name is Portia, so Panamera is like a thing.
the realized Portia?
Yes, they are.
Okay, all right. What's going on with you, dear?
First of all, Daniel sound like Calvin Candy from Django.
I know. Why do you have like a southern accent?
His accent was killing me. I was like, "What? Why do you sound like a Southern white woman?" I was confused.
Man,
Um, but yeah, so first of all, I was just shout out to the FBA family. And so Willie D had posted something the other day about something happened in Congo where they were like about to kill some young dudes because they were in a gang or whatever. And I just want to give a shout out to my FBA brothers and sisters because all I commented was I'ma mind my FBA business, my
mm,
uncultured FBA business. And when I tell you the Africans got on my ass,
mm.
like they got on me, like all I said was I'ma mind my FBA uncultured business, and they were like so on me. They brought you up, of course, like oh you're bringing the rhetoric from Tariq Nasheed, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But my FBA family had my back, so I
good.
just like we always gonna come through and have each other back. That's all I wanted to say.
Yes, ma'am. All day. That's the great thing. We look out for each other. Yeah, this whole thing where just tethers just want to attack us and talk all that greasy shit. I'm so glad the family shuts that bullshit down, and we should have been shutting it down. We should have been shutting that stuff down real quick. Yeah. Right now, yeah. Shout out to the family. There's a club in Atlanta. Did y'all hear about what's going on in Atlanta? Some club put up a flyer, and these are some I think some African promoters or something like that, put up a flyer with Dr. King and Rosa Parks twerking. Just some real low. They always do that to our icons. Some of these non-FBA people, they play these little games with our icons trying to be slick. So they were promoting a club and had some Photoshop bullshit of Rosa Parks twerking. So the FBA family got on their ass about that. And the club is copping pleas, talking about they didn't have nothing to do with it. It was some independent promoters, and so people are on their bumper about that, as we should. We don't let these folks sit up and play these games with our icons like that. A lot of those promoters, they do that shit all the time. They'll get some real janky um Photoshop of Dr. King with gold teeth and all this old goofy ass stuff. No, we don't let them do that because they don't let us do that to their people. If we went to Ethiopia and put up somebody twerking on Haile Selassie, they wouldn't like that. They wouldn't go for that at all. If we went to South Africa and had a Photoshop of Winnie Mandela twerking on Nelson Mandela, they wouldn't go for that. Yeah. So yeah, we ain't gonna go for that. They try to disrespect our icons.
You've heard the buzz. You've seen the media stories. Now experience the truth for yourself. Microphone Check, the critically acclaimed documentary uncovering the true origins of hip-hop. Available now on Blu-ray and streaming on Amazon Prime. Visit microphonecheck.com to learn more and get your copy today. Microphone Check, the story hip-hop was waiting for.